Good morning and welcome everyone. It's so lovely seeing all of you joining this morning. My name is Amy Jacob and I'm the co-founder of Sangha Live, along with Martin Aylward, who is normally welcoming you at this time of the morning. As you've seen, he is still recovering. He's still feeling quite weak, recovering from COVID. So we thought it would be best for him to just take the rest of the week off and really prioritize his health at this moment. So we wanted to continue offering this worldwide Dharma Hall for all of you to continue sitting together. It's so wonderful to see so many of you jumping over from the other event where we had technical issues. So welcome again. I'm going to introduce our guest teacher, Kyra Jewel-Lingo, in just a moment, but wanted to let those of you who might be joining us for the first time know how these sessions run. So we'll have an hour together, and Kyra Jewel will lead the session with about 10 minutes of contemplation or of a theme, and then we'll do a 30-minute guided meditation together. And after that, you can feel free to stick around for about 15 minutes of questions and answers with Kyra Jewel. And to ask your questions, you can either type them in the Ask a Question box just beneath the video window here, or you could actually come on screen. And to come on screen, you just need to type into the box, the chat box on the side that you'd like to come on, and then I can invite you on screen to have a dialogue with Kyra Jewel. And the last thing I want to mention, normally there's a little green box just beneath the video window where you can click on it to offer donations. I'll try to get that working as the session goes on. But just to let you know that these sessions are really possible from the generous donations of those who are attending the sessions. And we really appreciate those of you who have donated so far. The donations are shared between the platform. There are a lot of costs obviously involved in running the platform, and also the teacher. So the teacher is generously donating her time. So any offering of support goes to her as well. And with that, I'd love to invite on Kyra Jewel-Lingo and tell you a little bit about her. Welcome, Kyra Jewel.
Thank you, Amy.
Thanks for being with us. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Kyra Jewel has been one of our regular teachers on Sangha Live for the last several years. She has many recorded teachings available in the Dharma Library. And she's also given a course on our platform as well. So Kyra Jewel began practicing in 1997. And she's an ordained nun of 15 years in Thich Nhat Hanh's Order of Interbeing. She is now based in Colombo, Sri Lanka, where she's joining us today. And we're so grateful that she's been able to step in last moment for Martin for the rest of this week. So thank you again, Kyra Jewel, for being with us. And I'll turn it over to you for the rest of the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amy. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you all for your consistent practice. It's amazing to see so many of you here, and it's very heartwarming to see all the care for Martin that's being expressed. And so we'll keep him in our compassion for this whole session and going forward. So I'd like to share a practice that's been really sustaining and helpful for me throughout my whole time of practice. And it's a meditation that I'll guide as well. But it is getting in touch with wholesome and powerful qualities that we all have inside of us, and that we need to call upon, especially in times that are difficult. So the first quality is freshness. And this is actually, excuse me, I put a little tickle in my throat. So one of the most beautiful ways that I've heard the Buddha described is as our freshness, the Buddha inside of us. So this is a teaching from my teacher, Thich Nhat Hanh, where we're going to ponder 4 qualities. So this first one is the flower nature that we all have in us, and that is our freshness. So we can consider ourselves to be a human flower. We have beauty, we have curiosity, we have interest in the world around us. We have this unique expression of beauty that is purely ours. And that freshness is what comes when we get in touch with the flower nature inside of us. So even though we may be under some kind of stay-at-home order or curfew or lockdown, even if we might not be able to access nature to remind us of our freshness, and please, do take advantage of it if you do have nature around you. But even if, our usual avenues for experiencing freshness aren't available, we can touch the freshness that's in us, inside of us. And we especially need to do it in times like these, when we may be experiencing a lot of fear or distress or confusion, or being dispersed by all the news, by all the trying to figure out what's what and what we should do. We especially need to remember the quality of freshness that's there. It's always there. That's the beautiful thing about these wholesome qualities. They might be asleep down in the depths of our mind, but they're always there. So all we need to do to call up our freshness is to remember that we have it, and we can resource ourselves. We can draw up this freshness by remembering moments that have nourished us, or maybe where we were kind to others, or others were kind to us, or where we brought joy to others, or when others brought joy to us, or maybe when we made someone laugh or got them interested in something, or where we just ourselves got interested in something. So this sense of an aliveness, of being, wanting to engage, wanting to interact, wanting to connect. So we'll be practicing in the meditation to connect with our flower nature. So that's the first energy. And the second energy is that of a mountain, a beautiful, majestic, very stable, strong mountain. And the energy that the mountain in us reminds us of is our solidity, our stability. And so whenever we're feeling pushed around by the storms of life, and this might be one of those times where things feel very uncertain, very unstable, we can touch the quality of the mountain in us, our stability, our strength, our capacity to move through difficult times, and not lose our center. Because even if storms rage and winds blow The mountain is immovable, the mountain is steady, and we ourselves can sit and can be a mountain. When people around us are really struggling, we can be a mountain for them. When even we are struggling, we can be a mountain for ourselves. We can touch that part of ourselves that's still asleep under the soil and wake it up so that it comes up to provide a refuge. When we sit, we can see ourselves like a mountain. We can see our legs as like the base of the mountain, our shoulders as the side of the mountain, and our head is the peak of the mountain. And we really sit firmly like a mountain. So when I teach this to children, because this is a wonderful practice for children to do also, we call it pebble meditation. And each of these qualities is a pebble that the children hold and meditate on for a few breaths. But one of the games we'll play to get them connected to their mountain nature is they have to sit very solid, stably like a mountain, and we'll come around and we'll try to distract them. We'll, make noises or try to, see if we can knock them over gently. And they have to stay very strong and stable and not, distracted. And they love playing that game, and they're very good at staying very concentrated and focused. So we can see that quality in us too. And then the third quality is that of still water. And still water, it's very calm. If you think of a lake that you've seen in a forest or in the countryside, when the water is still and calm, everything is reflected on the surface of the water very faithfully. So if there's clouds in the sky, you see the clouds in the water. If there are trees around the banks, then you see the trees reflected in the water. And so our mind is the same. We can invite that calm, peaceful, still quality of the mind to arise if it's not there. And when our mind is calm and still, we reflect things the way they are. So we see just what is. We don't embellish it. So if, we read the news, we don't project more into the future. We just realize, okay, this is a difficult situation. People are suffering. Or if we see beauty around us, we reflect that back. We see the kindnesses people are showing other people, the great generosity that's coming out from people at this time. All these people coming to practice. Now it's almost 300 people are on this call this morning. So we can see that and reflect it back accurately. So we don't let ourselves get overwhelmed by only the bad news. We are open to and to being nourished by the good news. Because we know that when, wind comes and disturbs the surface of the water, then the images get distorted. So it's the same with our mind. When our mind is disturbed and agitated, we can't reflect reality the way it is. But if we can let our mind come back to some stillness, to some calm, then we see things much more clearly, much more in touch with reality. So that's the third practice. And the fourth practice is to get in touch with the quality of space that's inside us. And that space leads us to feel free, to touch our freedom. So I like to see myself on the top of a mountain or, somewhere up high where I can see all around, or maybe like a bird flying through the sky. And that's in all of us. We all have that capacity to touch immense space inside. We could also see ourselves as like the moon, floating through the night sky with so much space around, So there's that quality in us of freedom, of being unobstructed, of having infinite room. So in moments when we feel tight, when maybe we, We might be living with people and there might not be very much space, physical space around us, or we might just have a lot of emotions and inner tightness with all of our anxiety or worries or fears. In those moments especially, we want to be able to call up the quality of spaciousness and freedom in us. That when we offer ourselves space, when we offer ourselves the possibility of being able to be fully with what is without any demands or expectations, and that is freedom. When we offer others space, when we offer others the permission to be themselves, that's a kind of freedom we offer them. So we can offer it to ourselves, we can offer it to others, and we can touch it any time. We can touch this sense of allowing things to be as they are, allowing ourselves to be the way they are, not resisting, not putting up a fight, but coming into full presence with what is. So that's the reflection I wanted to offer us, and I will do this as a guided meditation. So I invite you to find a comfortable position. And it's in the middle of the day here in Sri Lanka, so there's some work and, daily life things happening in my surroundings, so there'll be some background noise. So finding a position that supports you, that's comfortable. You can close your eyes or keep them open. Just letting your body settle and really arrive where you are. Feeling the contact between your body and what you're sitting on. You're also welcome to lie down or stand, whatever position is most supportive. So wherever your body is making contact with another surface, noticing that contact, and as much as you can, letting your body release its weight to that support. And that support is ultimately the earth. So really open to the support of the earth and let yourself rest on the support of the earth. Feeling the gravity, the force of gravity that keeps you close and connected to the earth. And you may like to take some deep breaths. And every time you exhale, seeing if you can release and give your weight even more to the support of the earth. So allowing for a softening as you exhale in the face, and a softening in the shoulders with your next exhale. And softening in the chest and the belly. And softening down the back with the next exhale. And as you exhaling, the arms and hands get a little heavier. The next exhale, letting the feet, the legs get a little heavier, more at ease. So I'll offer the reflection along with the breath. And if it's helpful, you can use it with your breath. If not, you can leave the breath out and just see the image, see yourself in your mind's eye. Breathing in, I see myself as a flower. Breathing out, I feel fresh. And with the in-breath, you can say the word flower. And with the out-breath, fresh. So seeing yourself in whatever situation has brought you to the experience of freshness, of aliveness. Recalling times when you were creative, when you brought some kind of beauty into the world, times when you were feeling connected with others or very spontaneous, very in the flow. Times when you felt just really alive, really at ease. Refreshed, maybe in nature or doing something you loved that you would get really absorbed in. So let that feeling awaken in you of being really enthusiastic about something or curious or open to learning something new. Feeling really engaged, maybe listening to a story and feeling really curious what would happen next. It's almost this childlike sense of freshness. Just let that fill you. This part of you that knows how to respond to the world with an open heart and open mind, with an eager receptivity, with care, with interest, with joy. Maybe a real wish to bring others joy or surprise someone or make someone laugh, touch the good in someone else, to be there to support someone. All of that is our flower nature, our beauty, our unique wonder. Breathing in, I see myself as a beautiful human flower, unique in all the world. Breathing out, I feel fresh. Flower, fresh. If it feels okay to smile to the flower energy in you, then let a smile come to your face. Or maybe a smile comes to your heart or to some other part of your body. Smiling to the freshness, the flowerness in you. And now we move to the energy of solidity. So let yourself bring to mind the image of a powerful, majestic mountain or a range of mountains, that's fine. Get in touch with the incredible strength of this mountain and feel that that is you. You are that mountain. You are that stability. Breathing in, I see myself as a mountain. Breathing out, I feel solid. And then just saying the key words to yourself, mountain on the in-breath, solid on the out-breath. Mountain, solid. Really feel the top of your head is the peak of the mountain, your shoulders, the sides of the mountain, your legs are the base of the mountain. Maybe you grow a little taller as you connect with this mountain quality in you, this strength. Really let this energy of stability fill you up. Strong, stable, solid. And remembering moments in your life when you were really reliable for others, when they really needed you and they could take refuge in you. Moments when you made it through a time that might have been very difficult. Maybe you didn't think you could get through that difficulty, but you did. That's when you were a mountain. So we can return to our mountain nature, connecting with this capacity in us to be very still and steady and reliable, even when things around us might not be very reliable. Breathing in mountain, breathing out solid. And now we will come to the third practice of seeing ourselves as a still, calm lake. Our mind is very peaceful, very steady, and we reflect the reality around us just as it is. Breathing in, I see myself as still water. Breathing out, I reflect things the way they are. Still water, reflecting. So feeling into the moments in your life when you were able to maintain tranquility, calm, peacefulness, and when you could reflect the things around you without distortion. Maybe times of conflict where you could see the different perspectives of people in conflict and not take sides, but feel a wish to support everyone. Or maybe times when you simply were at ease, when you were able to enjoy the world around you without pushing and pulling or wanting things to be different. That settled back quality of equanimity that is in you. You know this. It is you. So let that quality come up in you and fill your whole body, this sense of being still and tranquil and reflecting reality as it is. And touch the truth that even though we're facing this very grave crisis as the whole of humanity, that you have this capacity to keep your mind calm and still, even in the midst of all of this. I am still water. I reflect things the way they are. Still water, reflecting. And we complete our practice with the fourth quality. Now visualizing yourself with a lot of space around you. immense space, vast space, no obstructions. And allow yourself to feel this quality of freedom, of not being caught or impinged upon in any way. Breathing in, I see myself as infinite space. Breathing out, I feel free. Space, free. Whatever experience that you know, let it come up of times when you felt very spacious, very free. Let that fill you now. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. I am blooming as a flower. I am fresh as the dew. I am solid as a mountain. I am firm as the earth. I am free. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. I am water, reflecting what is real, what is true. And I feel there is space deep inside of me. I am free, I am free, I am free. So I invite you to transition and come back to the screen. You can open your eyes if you had your eyes closed, taking your time. And we'll move now into a chance to ask questions. But I just want to mention that there is now the link below the video for offering dana, for offering donations. And so this hour every day, it is really possible because of your generous support. So if you have a question, you can post it in the ask a question. Yes, I'll share the words of the song. I'll post them in the chat. Okay. And there's a question from Marina. How do you do this kind of meditation when your emotions and thoughts are painful? Thank you for that. Oh, sorry. Thank you for that question. I'm wondering, Marina, there I've just posted the lyrics in the chat. Marina, would you share, if you don't mind, what your experience was of doing this meditation? Was it maybe in the comments, you could, underneath your question, you could add how you experienced this meditation. I'll just say one thing in the meantime, and that's just that, we have a tendency to think that in order to feel these positive emotions that we've been exploring, these wholesome qualities, that our suffering has to be absent, that we can't experience well-being as long as ill-being is there. But that's actually not the case. It's possible, even in the midst of great difficulty and pain, it's possible to touch beauty and wonder and stability. And so this practice is really about reminding ourselves, like if we're going through a difficult time, it's reminding ourselves that we have these qualities also. It's not that the suffering is wrong or bad, or it shouldn't be there. It's okay that the suffering is there. But in addition to the suffering being there, we do also have these qualities, and we need to call on them so that we have more strength to hold our suffering, right? So I'll just tell you a story about this. And that is, okay, you were saying that you feel resistance in the meditation. You felt as if you were trying to feel something that you weren't feeling. Thank you for that feedback. I really appreciate you sharing how that was for you. So we don't want to, push away the pain that we're feeling or try to pretend that we're stable when we don't feel stable. But it's almost like we are calling on parts of ourselves that we may have, forgotten. Or it could even be that we call on these qualities that are available in other people, that we might not feel it in ourselves, but we can see it in other people. So it might be a teacher that we call on to feel that sense of stability, or it might be the Buddha, or it might be Jesus Christ, or Mother Teresa, or Gandhi, or it might be all of our ancestors. There might be ancestors that we know have gone through really difficult times and were strong enough to go through them. So we might draw on them. So it's basically resourcing ourselves. It's not denying what we're feeling. We don't want to resist or push away our strong emotions, but we want to gather, more resources to help us to be with that difficulty. And I'll just tell you a short story about this. There was a young man who came on 2 retreats with me. I was teaching a retreat for young adults, and then the next weekend I was teaching a retreat for artists. And in the retreat for young adults, I shared about the practice of the 5 happinesses, things that scientists have found. If we do them every day, we can grow our happiness. And one is to meditate or pray. That's the first one, every day. The second one is to exercise, to do something for our bodies. The third one is to be aware of 3 things that we're grateful for, so 3 gratitudes. The fourth is to practice a random act of kindness, to do something kind for someone. And the fifth is to journal a happy moment, to take time at the end of the day and write down one thing that was beautiful from the day. So he started doing these 5 things every day, and he was actually in the midst of a breakup. He had just broken up with a partner of 2 years, and he was quite heartbroken. So he did this every day for a week, and then in the next weekend was the retreat for the artists. And he shared in that retreat, he said, this really works. I've been nourishing my happiness every day, and I'm touching happiness in the midst of this really difficult time of breaking up. So it's not that because of heartbreak we can't also experience some joy. So these 4 wholesome qualities that we're cultivating in this practice are like reminders that, yes, in addition to my pain, I also have these qualities. And if I can, invite them to be here with me, they can be with the suffering. I don't still have to send the suffering away. Suffering can be here, and freshness, solidity, calm, freedom can also be here. And just kind of hold my suffering. Just be there with my suffering. So it's not about pushing anything away. I hope that's helpful. And thank you for that question, Marina. It's a question from Elodie. So trying to remind of times when I was like a flower or still water. My first reaction was to feel that I actually never was like that, or almost never, which was uncomfortable. At the same time, I also felt that these qualities were inside of myself and that I could develop them. So is it a good idea to focus on past experiences during that meditation? Oh, it's very nice to see you again here after not seeing you for 3 years. Thank you, Elodie. So, if trying to think of a time when you were like that in the past doesn't feel that helpful for you, you don't have to do it that way. You could instead really just see the image of a flower. Sometimes I just get in touch with like what it must be like to have my roots in the earth and to send up a blossom that's colorful and fragrant. And that can be a beautiful meditation, just right in the present moment, just seeing myself as an actual flower with this longing to share my beauty, my fragrance with the world. So you could just forget the part about trying to think of some time in the past and just be, and when you're a mountain, just being a mountain, like what would it really be like to be a mountain, and letting yourself feel that in your body. So for sure, I'm sure there were times in your life where you had those qualities, even if it was in, a small way, or a way that maybe you haven't seen it yet as being that quality, but it is. So that you could let that go, and you could focus on just what it's like to feel that in yourself now, or you could just have the image of like a clear, still lake in a forest. Just let that image nourish you, and just see it as clearly as you can in your mind's eye, the birds, the sun, the breeze, and just let yourself be nourished by the image and feel that coming into you, that sense of calm, of reflecting in you. So yeah, there's many ways to do it, so feel free, all of you, feel free to adapt these teachings and the way I presented it so that it suits you, so that it works for you. And David, your question, do you have any ideas about getting to sleep? Thank you for this question. I have struggled in my life at times with insomnia. My type, I don't have it now, but every so often it comes. I'll be able to fall asleep, but I'll wake up in the middle of the night and won't be able to go back to sleep. So usually it's in times of a big transition or when a lot is going on. I could imagine that this might be a time that would create that for many of us. with all the uncertainty around. I think one of the biggest things I have learned is not to fight it, just like our friend's question earlier about resistance to what was arising. It's really helpful if we don't fight the experience of not being able to sleep, but to, as much as possible, let the body rest and release any thought that there's something wrong and this shouldn't be this way. So whatever we can do to come into a softening toward the not being able to sleep can help to, at least the body can relax and rest if it can't sleep. And there's a really lovely meditation by Sharon Salzberg. It's on the app 10% Happier, but it's a beautiful meditation. It's a metta meditation that she says a friend of hers found really helpful in times of difficulty with sleep. And it's where you begin by wishing well anyone who's awake right now in that moment. So you're awake, so you wish yourself well. There are people on the other side of the world who are awake because it's a different time zone, so you wish them well. Maybe there are other people who are awake who can't sleep in your same time zone, so you wish them well. And you send them your may they be healthy, may they be safe, may they be protected. And then after you do that for a little while, then you wish well anyone who's asleep right now. And you just wish, all the children who are sleeping, you wish them well. All the elderly people, all the people who are sleeping soundly, you wish them well. And I've done that and I found it very helpful. It can help me get back to sleep. So those are just a few ideas. Thanks for the question. And there's a question from someone whose name I can't see. But says, very often I try to relax into presence and let go of thoughts and fears. There's the urge to go on thinking or worrying as if I'm pulled back into thought because there seems to be the conviction that I can't or mustn't let go because we're in such a dangerous situation. Do you have an idea of how to deal with that? Thank you for this question. So I guess my question to you is, do the thinking, all the thoughts and fears, will they help in this dangerous situation? I understand this sense of vigilance, of needing to keep out and try to figure out a way and, try to respond to the danger. But I guess for one, I would ask you, are you in imminent danger, you yourself? Is there something happening that you need to protect yourself from imminently? And if not, then are those thoughts helpful for you? So we know that worrying thoughts can really wear us down and are not good for our immune system and our body's strength and peace and happiness. So again, it's not to push them, to judge them or push them away, but it's just to reflect, this isn't likely going to help me be able to have the best response to this difficult situation. What will? Well, if I can notice that I'm thinking, that I'm, okay, we have to finish up. If I can notice that I'm thinking, that I'm worrying, and simply bring attention to that, and bring attention into the body, and bring attention to the breath, and be right here in this moment with my breath, with my body, that can help us move through this difficult time more effectively, more productively than worrying and anxiety. So I thank you all for your questions, and there is a recording of the Pebble meditation on YouTube. There's many of them, so do look on YouTube. Just check out Pebble meditation for young people. It's been a pleasure to be with you all. I look forward to being with you for the rest of this week at this time. Many blessings. Be well.